I don't have a great idea for today's video. I was thinking to myself going, Auth66 day 39. There's not lots more to talk about. I'm sure there is, but today I'm not, I might be in a different mode. I spent a lot of time today creating, but I have these days, like you would have seen it yesterday, where I get a little bit drained. And you know, we all have different things that we do to cope or to relax or unwind. And for me, I like to read, I like to watch TV, I like to spend time with my family, my kids and my husband. But I also love spending time with my puppies. Oh, isn't she adorable? This is Lucy. Whenever I lay down to watch TV, both of my dogs end up on my lap. I think a good portion of that is because I usually have a fuzzy blanket on me and they love the fuzzy blanket, but I also think that they like just spending time with me, and also give very good itches. Don't I, Lucy? I've got two dogs. This is Lucy. I'll probably find a way to put Mia on here at some point or another, but she's a little more persnickety and Lucy's a little more floppy. She just likes love. And who doesn't love dogs? I mean, you don't have to have a dog. You can have a cat. You could have a lizard. You could just have people that you choose to spend time with that do the same thing. I like animals because I find them to be a little bit easier. Like, you can just understand their needs. They're a little bit more, not basic, but kind of, you know, clear. And, okay, you don't have to give me kisses. A little bit more, I guess, survival based. They just need a little bit of scratches and a little bit of love and food and water, and they're good to go. So on a day like yesterday, where it can feel like maybe it's hard to get a win, you just find something in your life that's simple like that, where, you know, if it's an easy thing to cross off a to-do list or an easy way to make somebody else happy, it can be its own little pick-me-up. And as Lucy literally licks the bananas out of my hands right now, for me, I've always enjoyed having a pet of some sort, but mostly dogs. It's weird though, because I've always been a big dog fan, and Lucy is a funny story that I thought I'd share too. We had a golden retriever for 14 years, our beautiful Freddie, and he was the love of our entire family's life. And he was a character and a personality, but as with Goldens, you know, his hip started to go. We had an issue with vestibular disease. Lucy wants to escape. And, you know, it was time. He was in a lot of pain. So we made the difficult decision to put him to sleep. And then, you know, before, we kind of knew with his health and the way it was going and how much pain he was in, that it was something we would have to make a decision about. So in the December before we put him down, we got another puppy. Her name was Luna. And she was a tiny puppy. And I got a tiny puppy. I asked the family if it was okay if we got a tiny puppy, because it was always hard to get somebody to babysit Freddie when we would leave. He's a giant golden, a golden who loved to climb up on the counter and eat food off the counter. You know, Goldens come with a lot of hair and a lot of other things that you have to maintain. So we were like, maybe a small dog would be easier because other people would watch them. So we were like, let's have some overlap so that we're not, you know, making a decision in a moment of, you know, extreme pain or going too long without having a furry friend. For my youngest, animals are extremely important. He almost like has them as like emotional support animals. So we brought Luna into our lives, and Luna was great, but she was very much a Velcro dog, and she was very much my dog. She didn't really like anybody else, not many people otherwise. Jason from work, she loved Jason. Shout out Jason. And I mean, she tolerated my kids. She's somewhat like Brian, but she really loved me. So when we put Freddie down, having her was of great comfort. But not long after, we got on a family vacation, and unfortunately there was an accident while we were on this family vacation where she fell and she hit her head, and she ended up having some sort of, not brain damage, but something like that. And we lost her. And I think, you don't, just like a child, when you have a dog, you don't anticipate losing them young, right? It's not something that's easy. I didn't love losing Freddie, but he had 14 beautiful years and memories with our family. Luna had only been with us for maybe 9 months. It was very, no, 8. It was very sad. And, we were kind of rocked because now we were left with our hands empty. And as I just said, our entire family loves animals. So that was, something that was really difficult to face. So probably quicker than we could have anticipated. We were looking for another furry friend. I had a lot of guilt about it, but I knew it was right for our family. And when we were looking for animals, Mia, who I'll introduce at some point or another, just her face in the ad for her kind of puppy, which she is a Papillon Chihuahua mix. Something about her eyes said, pick me. And so we drove to Ottawa and we picked her up from a really beautiful breeder. Actually, they had like 4 generations of her family there, and like cousins and whatever. And not all of them were for breeding. They just loved the breed, Papillons in general. This was the first time they had bred a Papillon with a Chihuahua. And she was just like all in our laps, and much different than Luna. She gravitated to all of us. But I don't know if the general LinkedIn knows this. Papillons are very high energy. You often see these types of dogs in like agility training or agility courses. And we loved the bananas out of her, and she loved us, but she also could play for hours. And at some point, Brian and I looked at each other and went, we're probably going to have to get another dog for her to play with, because like her energy level is so high. So I was on the computer and on Facebook, and I had kept in touch with the breeder where I'd gotten Luna from, because I had let her know that Luna passed. She cared about all of her animals. For most breeders that are ethical, the relationship is important. They get attached, right? So I let her know. And then when I saw this post that she made, Luna's mom had another litter, and it was going to be her last litter. Wasn't the same dad, but it was the same mom. And I felt like I needed to make this decision. So I reached out and I put a deposit down right away. And I didn't even tell my husband. I was like, that she's one of these dogs are going to be mine. And when I went to go pick her up, she looked nothing like Luna. And that was okay. I didn't need the same dog. I just knew that having a piece of that family kind of would feel special, even if it's just a half. And that's how Lucy came to be in our life. And when we were trying to name her, I was like, all these names. I was like, maybe we can call her another Harry Potter name, because, that's my life. I love Harry Potter. Hence the name Luna. And though Freddie can't be attributed to Harry Potter, I'd like to, after the fact, say it's probably a little bit of a Weasley, but we almost called Mia Ginny. But anyway, for Lucy, her name came to me kind of haphazardly. She just was a mess. Like, she's a furry, scrappy. She sounds like Chewbacca sometimes. Looks adorable, but is just like literally the biggest disaster sometimes. Like, she'll crawl in garbage. Like, she loves to find things that smell. And so we were thinking about like Ricky Ricardo and Lucille Ball, and the whole Lucy, you got some splaining to do, like she was always going to be in trouble. And we're like, oh, that's really cute. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, it's also really kind of special because it's Lucy, L-U, Luna, L-U. the names both have 4 letters. Half of the name is the same, like half of their DNA comes from, you know, their mother, or whatever the actual percentage is, but you get the idea of what I'm saying. So it felt kind of, you know, kind of special for us. And when I get sad about Luna, I just pick up my floppy cuddle bug and remember that though I'm not saying that it was good that I lost her, but the lesson, the whatever is that I now have a Lucy, and I wouldn't trade the Chewbacca noises for anything. I mean, in a perfect world, I'd have all 3 dogs, but then, I mean, I would become the dog lady. Honestly, I could be the dog lady anyway. If I could have 7 of them, I probably would, but probably not wise. But all that story to say, these animals are so important. I mean, if you are a person who spends a kind of time, and let's be honest, money, into having an animal, they're like members of your family, and much like your family, they're there for you in ways that maybe you didn't anticipate. So today is a Lucy appreciation post. Thank you, Lucy, for being my little cuddle buddy and for being there on tough days. I hope you have your version of Lucy, whatever that looks like.